if I am seeing you here in my clinic, then that can only mean one thing. Your poor Eevee must be feeling under the weather again. I am so sorry to hear that. That poor thing has seen such a run of bad luck. It looks like we had you in here 2 months ago for a bruised tailbone from a misplaced tail whip. And then just 1 week ago for what was that? Cute charm injury. What? I didn't know. Well, either way, it doesn't matter. What is the ailment your Eevee is facing today? That thing is so rambunctious and full of energy, it just can't help but to find itself in tricky situations, it looks like. Okay. Really? Swift. That's uncommon. That attack never misses, and it rarely results from misplaced injuries. Okay, so what is the pain associated with the move Swift for your Eevee? Okay, so just pain after utilizing the move, okay. Is there any particular areas that affects your Eevee with the pain more? Okay, around the neck area, that's common for most injuries here. Okay, and the base of the ears. My, that is very strange. Alright, and anything else? Okay, a bit of the back leg. Might be just from placing pressure on that area when it's trying to exert force during the move, if I had to guess. Well, we'll get after your Eevee and look to make sure we identify all of the problem areas and get it feeling as good as possible as soon as we can. Has anything in your chart changed since your last visit? We know that you received your Eevee at a lab, had for 6 months, fainted 4 times. No? Okay, perfect. Well, we can get right on to the fun part, which is getting your Eevee feeling great again. Alright. Well, follow me. Well, aside from the circumstances, it is really good to see your Eevee as always. It looks like it's very well taken care of. The fur here on its main area looks to be very shiny and looks like you've had it groomed recently. The ears are looking very healthy. Let's just check a little bit for any abnormalities. But as I assumed, everything feels great. I like to just palpate ever so slightly between my thumb and fingers to see if there's any kind of tissue that doesn't feel quite right. Let's feel this side one more time. Yes, that feels fine. The tail is as bushy and lively as ever. And how are those paws? I don't feel any overly sensitive areas. Let's try this one out. Alright, that feels good. And leg joints on the hind legs here. Okay, those feel good. And complexion is great. Well, you've really taken good care of your Eevee since our last visit. Don't feel too bad about the injury. These things do tend to happen, especially when you have an Eevee as lively as yours. Well, now that I am sure that the Eevee is besides that neck and leg pain, I will go ahead and just start with a bit of relaxation treatment. I know how much your Eevee enjoys a good brush. The metallic brush here always tends to be its favorite, so I'm just going to brush it just a bit to kind of keep it relaxed and make it feel safe. I know it's sleeping gently, and we want to keep it that way if possible. So I like to just start here at the head area and just nice and gently let those metallic teeth of the comb just caress the scalp and create a very relaxing surface area. It relieves tension and just makes sure Pokemon feel really good. They don't actually do a lot to the fur aside from just kind of combing through it in a very relaxing way. I'll move down here to the main area. Look at what a wonderful sheen that mane has. Whatever conditioner you're using for your Eevee, I definitely think you've made a good choice. It has quite the shine to it. Let's move up just a bit to the central tuft of hair. And then I will gently allow that ear to relax, and we will do this side here. Perfect, and we will just move down the back. You can kind of see where those teeth of the metallic comb brush through the fur as it leaves just faint lines. And let's finish up here on the tail just to make sure everything is satisfyingly perfect. And just kind of moving with the curve of that tail there and to the point. I know this is one of your Eevee's favorite treatments here, so I think it is feeling very relaxed. So what I'll do now is just test out some of that mobility in those problem areas, so I can feel that slight hang up there when manipulating the neck joint in that direction. This direction feels a lot more fluid. I know you mentioned that your Eevee has experienced pain when using its swift attack, which is a bit odd for that type of non-physical attack, but I have seen a lot stranger things. I do feel just a bit of tension there. I'll make a note. Let me just feel the base of that neck. Yeah, we have a lot of tension there under that mane. You also mentioned that its ears had been giving it just a bit of pain at the base. And yeah, I can feel we do have a bit of build-up here at the base of those ears. That one for sure. Let's test this one. Yes, I can feel that right in there. Oh yeah, that one is very stiff. So, your Eevee, and all Eevees for that matter, they actually contain bits of DNA from all of their evolution
observed Eevees that have a particular strong Jolteon gene, of course dormant, but nonetheless a strong Jolteon gene. Of course, Jolteon, their ears are quite a bit shorter than Eevee, and for some reason or another, that can sometimes manifest itself in early onset arthritis near those ears, almost as if the DNA genes of the Eevee are trying to manipulate themselves into becoming a Jolteon. But we can work that out, no problem. You also mentioned just a bit of pain here in the joints of those hind legs. Yeah, I can feel that tension there. This side is not as bad. It's primarily here along this hip joint here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the neck, and I'm just going to do a few gentle, at times more intense adjustments, but I promise your Eevee will not be harmed and should feel much better. So I'm just going to slide my hand right here under the chin. I'm going to do half of my hand behind the ear and half, as well as my thumb, in front. And that just gives me a really good control of that neck joint. Most injuries during chiropractic adjustments come from a lack of handle and control on the joint. So a firmer touch is usually more beneficial. So we're just going to give slight motions before we begin. And we are going to target that tighter area first. 3, 2, 1. Alright, and already starting to loosen up. Let's target that area again. 3, 2, 1. Got it. Okay. And now I'm just going to place my hand on the side of that joint, and we're just going to manipulate the head towards you. 3, 2, 1. Got it. That's great. One more. 3, 2, 1. And that went perfect there. Alright, and let's do the other side as well. Once again, behind the ear. Okay. And just a bit of mobility. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Okay. 3, 2, 1. And that's perfect. Once again, hand alongside the neck joint, and I will manipulate it to the side. 3, 2, 1. Alright, that feels great, and let's just really work on that up and down mobility here. So for this, I will once again go under the chin. I will then just place my hand and hold those shoulders in place, nice and steady. 3, 2, 1. And not too bad. Okay, one more here. A slight bit more aggressive. 3, 2, 1. And perfect. Not too bad. Alright, let's go ahead and readjust or reassess that neck mobility. ever so slight tension outward, and it should relieve a lot of that tension. 3, 2, 1, and just like that. Okay, and to the side now. 3, 2, 1. That's feeling better. 3, 2, 1. And let's feel that mobility. Okay, much better. Alright, right there. Okay. 3, 2, 1. That's better. Okay. And for the other side. 3, 2, 1. And nice and simple. That one is much better already. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Just gentle palpations, and 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's test that mobility. That one is actually feeling much better. I know your Eevee is really going to be enjoying that pain-free experience in those ears. Now let's move on to that last problem area, the leg here. So for this, I'm just going to get a nice solid hold of that leg. I'm just going to place my hand right here at the base of that hip, and we're just going to 3, 2, 1, and as simple as that. One more, perhaps. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that actually feels pretty good there. And I know this side was not too bad. Maybe one adjustment there. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's all we need there. Okay, great. So I'm just going to double back and make sure that all of our problem areas are feeling much better. Okay, that's great. Okay, and okay, well, I'm just going to finish with a bit of relaxing skin massage and treatment. I like to make sure that our Pokemon are feeling very relaxed at the end of the more aggressive portion. Those ears can carry a lot of tension and need to make sure that they get the attention they deserve. Just like most species of Pokemon, the ears can be the most relaxing massage or treatment targets. So it's not a bad time, or not a bad idea from time to time to gently massage your Eevee's ears.